Hello, in this endocrinology video, we will discuss about the hypothalamic to pituitary gland, ovarian and testicular axis during the puberty, when the female and male will become young and able to reproduce. So let's begin to understand from female and then male. So first of all, here is the female contain brain. Brain contain hypothalamus as well as pituitary gland. And in this way, here is after the puberty, it will be changes, the physiological changes of the female primary sexual character as well as female secondary sexual character. Primary means the reproductive organs, and secondary means the appearance as well as the breast and other things. So on the other hand, here is I am drawing the bigger picture of the brain for understanding better. So this is contain cerebral cortex. Cerebral cortex, which that is used for the external environmental stimuli. External environmental stimuli will lead to give the signal to the hypothalamus, and hypothalamus is upper part of the pituitary gland. And after this, the thalamus to the hypothalamus, which that is the pituitary gland, will be stimulated. So the hypothalamus, I am drawing the bigger picture for that. And in this way, the gonadotropin releasing factor, which that is stimulate, and the gonadotropin releasing hormone which stimulate through a neurosecretory cells, which that is present in the hypothalamus, neuroendocrine secretion. So the neuroendocrine secretion will secrete the gonadotropin releasing hormone to the gonadotropin cells of the adenohypophysis of the pituitary gland. Here is the adenohypophysis and this is the neurohypophysis. So the adenohypophysis is the anterior lobe, and this is basically the master lobe and produce the several hormone. But here we will understand about the reproductive hormone. So the female puberty means the able to reproduce, and menstruation will be occur. So in this way, here is the production through a stimulation of the hypothalamus through gonadotropin releasing factor, which that stimulate to produce through a gonadotropin cell to produce the follicle stimulating hormone as well as luteinizing hormone. Follicle stimulating hormone will stimulate the ovary for the folliculogenesis, so the follicle production, and the primary follicle will become a secondary follicle. And in this way, the mature oocyte will be formed inside of the follicle, and the follicle contain a follicular fluid, the blue color showing in the figure. So after this, here is the follicle stimulating hormone, which that is also stimulate the ovulation through estrogen. Estrogen is produced by this mechanism from the ovary, and this estrogen is used for the secondary sexual character, breast size increase, and other things. So the more female. So here is the follicle, which that's contain follicular fluid and the mature oocyte. This mature oocyte will be uh, will be ovulate, and ovulation will be occur. And here the granulosa cell inside, and outside is the theca cell, which that is required the luteinizing hormone, while the follicle stimulating hormone require the granulosa cell. So this is the mature oocyte, which that become a egg, and this egg will be released is known as the ovulation. And this ovulation required the menstrual cycle, and in this way the ovarian cycle, which that required the 28 days after the puberty. And in this way the corpus luteum will be left remain, and the progesterone will produce from the corpus luteum. Corpus luteum produce progesterone, which that inhibit the hypothalamus and the adenohypophysis, and no production of the follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone after the releasing of the egg. And the granulosa cell produce the aromatase as well as the theca cell produce the androgens hormone, which that will also convert into the estrogens, the primarily estradiol. So the aromatase enzyme is also used for the conversion of the androgens hormone, for example testosterone, convert into the estrogen in the female also. But this is the function also are present in the male dominant. So here is the hypothalamus inhibition. So the less amount of the testosterone will convert into the estradiol through aromatase activity. So in this way here you can see aromatase enzyme is basically used for the androgen conversion. So the estradiol is the basically the estradiol. Estradiol will lead to negative feedback for the hypothalamus inhibition. So the estradiol is used for the breast development, growth acceleration, skeletal maturation, as well as the estradiol and progesterone collectively involve in the menstrual cycle. For example, the progesterone, which that will inhibit the ovulation and the primary oocyte growth, while the estradiol will lead to promote. So let's begin to understand the male puberty. So how it's possible. I am here drawing again the diagram which that contain again the pituitary gland, adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. So the gonadotrophin cell are present, and in this way the hypothalamus again trigger through a environmental stimuli or internal stimuli, and in this way internal stimulus which that will lead to again stimulate the hypothalamus to produce the gonadotropin releasing hormone neurosecretory cell, and this neurosecretory cell will stimulate the gonadotropin cell to release the luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone again. This luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone which that will target that differently. For luteinizing hormone which that will target the testes, seminiferous tubule. Here I am cross-sectioning of the seminiferous tubule, which that is the testes, cross-section of the testes, which contains seminiferous tubules, a lot of the surface. So the Leydig cell. This Leydig cell important for the binding of the luteinizing hormone, while the Sertoli cell is used for the primary sexual character. After this, the development of testes and seminiferous tubule here. After the stimulation by the binding of the follicle stimulating hormone, it will lead to increase the spermatocytes to spermatogenesis and sperm production from the Sertoli cell, while the luteinizing hormone will bind with the Leydig cell to produce the testosterone. So here is the follicle stimulating hormone produce the sperm due to the follicle stimulating hormone stimulation. So anyhow, you should need to understand another mechanism is the Leydig cell. This Leydig cell is basically used for the production of the testosterone. This testosterone is basically lead to when increase the testosterone will lead to negative feedback to the hypothalamus to inhibit the production of the gonadotropin releasing hormone, while also the Sertoli cell which that produce after the excess spermatogenesis lead to produce the inhibin B which that will inhibit the follicle stimulating hormone, so the no binding with the Sertoli cell will be occur, and the limited growth and spermatogenesis will be occur, while also inhibit the hypothalamus. So here is the testosterone increase the muscle mass, strength after the puberty of the male, aggression, penile growth, erectile function, while the decreasing of the testosterone will lead to erectile dysfunction, deep voice, male secondary sexual characteristics like beard, hair, etc., and the behavioral changes like the aggression as well as maleness appearance. So in this way, the excessive amount of the testosterone can also convert into the estradiol, which that's convert further into the estrogen like a female. While here is the testosterone is the fat soluble or lipid soluble steroid hormone which that lead to directly bind with the DNA of the nucleus of several cells for cell growth, physiology changes, and the proliferation. So testosterone not required the receptor because it is the fat soluble. Like a growth factor, it will growth factor require the binding, but it will not require the binding, and specific growth will be occur. While the estradiol will be converted through aromatase enzyme activity through the excessive testosterone will lead to breast development, gynecomastia, and growth acceleration and skeletal maturation of the male. So thanks for watching. Please make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Ask the question for answer. And thanks. Bye.